Our next reader is Kalli Angel. Kalli is a fiction writer, playwright, and translator. She's currently at work on a short story collection titled Don't Tell Anyone This. Kalli.
Thanks, Kurt. I'm a millennial, so I'm going to read off of a tablet. This is an excerpt from a story that I'm working on about a young woman who hooks up with a man on Craigslist. The narrator is 28 years old and teaches gym at a middle school and also coaches the boys' basketball team. The other character in this scene is Teresa, one of the students. That afternoon, during my free period, Teresa shows up outside my office. I've got Nicki Minaj blaring in my earbuds, so she has to knock 3 or 4 times before I realize there's someone who wants me. I pull out my headphones and say, shouldn't she be in class? I ditched, she says. She looks down at her scuffed Keds. I ask her if she needs a hall pass, and she mumbles something that sounds like no. Then she looks up at the wall behind me and says, I think I might be pregnant. That little fucker, I think, meaning Danny, who is her boyfriend, and also my 8th grade point guard. I wish I could say this is the first time I've heard this kind of confession in this office, but it's not. It's not even the first time this year. I exhale and tell Teresa to come in and have a seat. She does. I ask if it's Danny's, and she nods. I get up then and shut the door because this is Texas and this is a Catholic school, and even though I don't love this job, well, you know. I sit down again and wait for her to look at me. Teresa, I say, and I stare her right in the eye. Did you and Danny use protection? What? She says. She flushes and looks away, and her dark hair cascades across her face so sensually that I know she has practiced this move over and over with the camera on her iPhone. Teresa, I say, and I wait for her to look up again. When you and Danny had sex, did you use a condom? She does the hair thing again and mumbles about, well, we didn't, you know, it was kind of just. Teresa, I say, and I hear my mom in my voice. Teresa, look at me. Did you have sex with Danny? Well, she says, almost. What does almost mean? I ask. Well, she says, I touched it, but it didn't go inside. I notice then a gold clotter ring on her right pinky, you know, the Irish kind with the 2 hands squeezing the heart in the middle. She's wearing it so the corner of the heart is pointing toward her wrist. Taken. I notice the ring because she is twisting and pulling it back and forth over her knuckle, and her finger is starting to turn pink. I lean over and place my hand on hers. You are probably not pregnant, I tell her, and she looks at me with these big mascara eyes. Just to be safe, I give her one of the tests that I keep locked in the back of my file cabinet, and I let her into the faculty restroom with my key, and when she comes back into my office with the pee stick, I have a tissue out on my desk for her to put it on. Don't look at it, I tell her, not until the song's over. Then I hand her one of my earbuds, and together we sit on the cool warped linoleum floor, and she hums along quietly to super bass while we wait. I realize right now I should probably be thinking about how she's so young, just 12 and 13, and already losing her innocence, and isn't it tragic? Or I should be preparing some touching speech about respecting your body and yourself, and they aren't worth it, sweetie, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not, and I don't. I maybe want to tell her that I've had my fair share of almost too, and no matter what, it's going to be okay. But I'm not really sure I believe that, so I don't say anything, and we just sit there and nod our heads to the music in the quiet room. 3 minutes later, we check, and it's negative, like I knew it would be, and I tell her so, and the look on her face is this sheer, pitiful relief. I kind of want to hug her, except we're not allowed to do that anymore for legal reasons. So I just pat her on the back, write her a late pass, and send her off to social studies.